They are real.
Everyone's a kook until they see one.
I don't think there's any question that they're here.
Deploy a camera trap up here in this area.
That'd be a really good spot because that's not too far from where we found the Skookum cast 3 years ago.
Nice, okay.
What my dad and I saw that day was real.
The rock kind of come out of the fog, bounced off the bank a few times and rolled up, and that's when we decided it was time to go.
Until you've actually stood there and come face to face and see something like that, then you really can't really say what exists and what people think they saw.
We were basically on edge all night long.
All of a sudden, this thing starts yelling and screaming, and
I thought we were going to be dead.
I definitely think these things are real.
I wasn't shocked as much as I was curious.
That there's something out there that we're not sure what it is.
The Skookum wild man is an actual real creature, and it exists.
Cryptozoologist by profession and driven by her own mysterious encounter, Autumn Williams travels the world.
Thousands of people can't have seen something that doesn't exist. All we need is proof.
Sometimes at dawn, or the edge of dusk, there's a fleeting glimpse of an impossible sight.
Do you have it?
Get it. I see it.
Michael!
What's the range?
The sightings are real. The technology, cutting edge. Are you ready for mysterious encounters?
In September of 2000, members of the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization obtained what is believed to be an impression of the lower torso of an unknown primate in the Mount St. Helens area of Washington State.
The BFRO put on an expedition to use some new lure techniques to bring in one of these unknown hominids and see if we can get some photographic evidence that would prove their existence. What we walked away with is the Skookum cast.
Hundreds of eyewitnesses claim to have seen a huge, hairy creature in these mountains.
The area is right over here. There's several meadows, the most prominent of which is named Skookum Meadow. Skookum being an old Chinook jargon word referring to evil spirits.
I think it was trying to scare me away.
We've got a lot of land all to ourselves out here tonight.
It could hold secrets. No question about that.
With a wealth of never-before-used technology at their fingertips, the Encounters team is here to discover the truth behind the mystery of the Skookum Wild Man.
Does the Skookum Wild Man really walk these dark woods? The Encounters team and I intend to find out.
If I would have thought for a minute it was a bear, we'd have definitely hung around.
While driving the scenic back roads of the Mount St. Helens area, Jerry Kelso and his wife came upon what they thought was a man in a gorilla suit.
I was very skeptical that this was not anything other than a human being in some type of a suit.
But when Kelso locked eyes with a living Skookum wild man, his world was turned upside down.
Well, when that thing turned around and looked at me and I saw its eyes, I wasn't at that point wanting to chase it anymore.
Confusion is a common reaction during an encounter. Many witnesses say they initially thought they were looking at a bear, or even a man in a fur suit. I suppose the mind tries to correlate what it's seeing with a known animal.
Autumn Williams is a nationally known cryptozoologist and field researcher, a specialist in the search for as yet undiscovered species.
But some sightings are so clear and so close, there is no doubt in the witness's mind.
All I can say is I know what I saw, and my dad saw it with me.
The Encounters team and I are on our way to Skookum Meadows in Skamania County, Washington, to discover the truth behind tales of the Skookum Wild Man.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, Autumn.
See anything interesting happen yet?
Not yet.
Witness Aaron Tiger and his father sighted a creature in the summer of 2002, a day they will never forget.
Muscular,
Kept its eye on us.
fast,
It didn't take any unnecessary steps, but it was gone like that.
Their amazing story when mysterious encounter.
The hair on the back of my neck just stood straight out.
This is one of the first things that I've ever seen that it's hard to explain.
Skookum Meadows is located in the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest in central Washington state, about 250 miles southeast of Seattle, Washington. The word Skookum is Chinook Indian jargon meaning bad or evil. The word was also used to describe the large, hairy, man-like creatures thought to roam the dark forests of the Cascade Mountains. A name that conjures up fear all on its own.
Many, many sightings, many, many footprints have been casted out of that area. History reports around that whole area, so we think it's a hotbed.
It always amazes me when people assume that there is no wilderness left in North America. Obviously, they've never been here.
In 1969, Skamania County officials passed an ordinance protecting unknown hominids. The price for killing one of these creatures? 10 years imprisonment or a $10,000 fine.
It's amazing they have a law to protect an animal that supposedly doesn't exist.
But it does exist, according to two hunters who sighted a creature in broad daylight in the summer of 2002. Witness Aaron Tiger and his father's testimony is powerful.
We're up fishing for the day, and it was just a sunny afternoon. Got in our truck, we're driving back, and middle of nowhere. Didn't expect to see anybody.
And we came around the corner.
I'm looking down at a map, trying to get our bearings.
Because I was thinking about taking a different road home.
I look up and I tell my dad, I go, hey, there's a guy.
Hey, there's a guy on the road.
It was standing there, it wasn't moving, and all of a sudden we looked at each other and said, what was that?
I looked back up because I realized what I had seen.
And we looked at each other and what was that?
I was scared.
Went across the road just like this.
So as we approached the site, my dad, he stops the car and I go, what are you doing? He says, let's go take a look. And I thought, man, you're crazy. I mean, we had high-power rifles with us. It was just fear.
There were definitely tracks on this talus slope on the side.
We see where they go across the road. Said, hey, if you're a guy in a suit, don't move because I will shoot you.
Someone in a suit, you better stay in there.
It was dead quiet.
Better not come out.
To be honest, we weren't real crazy about staying around there for a long time.
Nothing responded. There was no movement, nothing.
We didn't know if there might be more of these things. We stayed just a little bit, and then we decided to take off. We talked to the sheriff, and it was really funny because I always remember this. I said, you know, I knew this couldn't be a guy in a black suit, and the sheriff starts laughing. He says, well, I know it wouldn't be either because this is the opening of bear season. He said, nobody's going to be up here in a bear suit.
Daytime sightings by multiple witnesses who corroborate each other's stories are difficult to discount.
I feel good that I had a witness because had I seen this alone, I would have never come out with it.
Randy Green and two adolescents were in shock when they observed a creature for a full 15 minutes, which earlier that day was only a myth.
We just pulled up on a really good spot where I know there's fish.
As I was going to the front of the boat to put the trolling motor in the water, I was scanning the clearing looking for deer, elk, and I noticed something walking across the middle of it about 125 to 150 yards away.
And sure enough, there's just this black thing with fur all over, just like walking across clear cut. I kept looking at it, and then it got to where I really thought it could have been one. And when it walked, it like over-exaggerated its swing of the arms.
But once we realized that we really felt like it was, then a little bit of panic kind of set in on all of us.
It started looking at us and walking away, and then it stopped at the stump and watched us.
But other than the two times that it stopped and faced us for 30 seconds or so, it was constantly moving. And both times, it was moving away from us.
And it was huge. It looked like a real animal.
It's almost like it was watching us just like we were watching it.
Stopped and looked at us one more time, and then it disappeared into the woods.
You're looking at something that's not an everyday occurrence.
For years, researchers have collected plaster castings of foot tracks some believe are left by giant bipeds. But in the summer of 2000, the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization obtained a large plaster cast of something more.
Yeah, everything. Everything I remember seeing.
All the hair is visible.
Yeah, it's just a huge animal.
We come back to here, and we have the Achilles tendon and the heel section. So this is really a forensic puzzle that needs to be looked at by experts.
Could this impression be the lower torso of the creature locals call the Skookum wildman?
This location is very promising. It makes it hard to fall asleep knowing that I'm only a few miles from the actual site where the Skookum cast was obtained.
The night passes all too slowly, and her fears may not have been entirely unfounded.
In the morning, I crawled out of my tent and rubbed my eyes, and promptly saw a large, black, upright something look out from behind a tree some 50 feet away. It all happened so fast. Although I hurried down the road to look, I saw and heard nothing further. I inspected the spot for tracks or other physical evidence, but I found nothing. I really thought my eyes were just playing tricks on me. That is, until later that day when another team member had an encounter in the exact same spot.
I walked down to the elk camp to look around and stuff, and when I was walking back, I was walking to the left side of the dirt road, and about halfway between here and there, something started growling at me. I felt really foolish being scared in the daytime.
The dawn also brings an opportunity to prepare the technology Autumn and the Encounters team will use for the hunt.
This is a problem, yeah.
Getting ready for night mode.
Infrared still and video cameras will provide the team the opportunity to film any animal lured into their traps. A micron thermal imaging unit held aloft by a 13-foot Photograph Skydock helium balloon will offer nighttime aerial surveillance. Used in conjunction with audio and scent baits, the team dreams of capturing physical and video evidence.
The perfect mobile surveillance system is silent and agile, utilizing gravity alone to cover large distances.
One of the most successful researchers was Roger Patterson. He used a horse with a camera.
Researcher Richard Knoll has devised another tool in an attempt to obtain proof that these creatures exist.
This is no ordinary mountain bike. It is equipped with a hands-free flash trigger, high-speed film, and the ability to take multiple high-quality photographs within seconds. This black bear cub photo proves its capabilities.
Looks like I'm ready.
Although less mobile, Michael Durham, a professional wildlife photographer, readies a sophisticated multiple-angle camera trap that will take wildlife photographs so clear that an unknown creature stepping into this trap would be magazine cover quality.
Setting up camera traps is a bit of a specialty. It requires a lot of equipment, motion sensors, cameras, lots of batteries, flashes. Most of all, it requires a good spot to set up.
Supplemented by GameView digital still camera traps, the forests around the team's base camp are guarded by silent sentries. Before nightfall, the team must use the remaining daylight to search for evidence and scout the best places for camera traps.
If you're going to deploy cameras near there's some trees around the side there. That's pretty good.
Team member Doug Hychek and researcher Richard Knoll patrol miles of sand-sided logging roads in the Beast. They are scanning the embankments carefully for the large bipedal tracks so often reported here.
I've seen tracks that lead up in behind these trees, and then they stomp around like they're waiting for vehicular traffic to leave at night along these dirt roads, and then come back down on the other side.
So you've actually seen this pattern of going up and coming down and going up and down more than once? I mean,
yeah, more than
how many
once.
times have you seen that?
Oh, probably a dozen since I've been looking for it. Really?
With ash from the 1980s Mount St. Helens eruption everywhere, the ground here is ideal for tracking. Fine dust covers everything and
That's
becomes
40
a natural trap for
inches.
footprint evidence.
Going uphill, that's pretty big.
I know that Aaron had his sighting
not more than a half a block from here. It's not good enough to cast, eh?
Well, no, it's not good enough to cast.
Just keep looking.
Okay. Keep looking. And we'll get lucky.
With the traps freshly baited, the team is ready for nightfall. The setting sun has the entire crew on edge.
I don't think I'll be walking back down there. And I definitely wouldn't do it in the dark.
There is every indication that whatever growled at Butch may still be lurking nearby.
Right after we played the coyote calls, we heard a sound that came from the east side of camp, and it was a really loud growl. It almost sounded kind of dog-like, and it went like that. It was only once.
And it didn't sound like a bear, but I would imagine it was about the size of the lungs in a bear.
Freaked me out pretty good.
I want to run out there and see what it is, but I know that's not the way.
It seemed like it was coming from actually back over here.
Sort of relax, and maybe it'll get closer, and you'll catch a glimpse of it, whatever it is.
Okay.
Just a little bit creepy.
Growling is one thing, but large rocks hurling out of a forest are quite another. A blow to the head would spell instant disaster.
This is the third rock that was thrown at us tonight. Definitely, this rock flew out of the trees and landed right next to us, and I heard it hit with a thud. And so I ran into the woods to see if maybe I couldn't see, hopefully, the creature. I heard a few branches break ahead of me, but it was way, way up the hill. Whatever threw this could have hit us.
When a similar incident happens the very next morning to unsuspecting hunters, the team's anxiety grows. The Encounters team is in the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest in west central Washington state, searching for a creature countless eyewitnesses describe as large, hairy, and upright walking. The Encounters team is looking to obtain their own evidence of their existence.
It's unfortunate that Richard Knoll had no camera traps in place to catch a glimpse of whatever made the Skookum impression. But we have camera systems.
And instead of just looking for tracks with the fruit as bait, we're going to be using a camera trap.
This time with infrared video equipment in place.
Prove the world that, yeah, these things do exist.
With the Skookum cast site rebaited, the team begins to deploy other tactics in an attempt to gather evidence.
And an animal that has nocturnal vision, that is actually able to see this in detail, is not going to see what that black box underneath that brush is, just going to see the brush on top.
Then we're going to prepare the area, bait it. We'll do a blast and then leave the area quietly as we can. Hopefully they'll smell this, hear the scream, and see the bait.
Make the offering look right here.
Hopefully they'll smell this.
The sophisticated sound system will blast sounds of what are claimed to be actual audio recordings of vocalizations from creatures similar to the Skookum wildmen.
Could lightning strike twice in the same place?
Wild animals are frequently caught off guard by quiet, fast-moving bicycles on downhill logging roads. The Encounters team has assembled these specially designed camera-equipped mountain bikes, attempting to have an unexpected face-to-face encounter with a creature and obtain photographic evidence.
Vladimir will ride ahead of the others, laying a pheromone trail of sexual attractant scent and blasting wounded animal calls designed to attract predators.
The scent and sound trail has been laid. Coming back.
We're on our way.
10-4.
The Photograph Skydock system and the thermal cam give us an eye in the sky. It's an incredible forest surveillance system. And the best part? Any creature out there may be able to see us, but it doesn't know that we can see it.
Bear prints, are they?
Come again?
We got a couple footprints here, but it looks like a bear or a cougar.
You're serious?
The Encounters team is on the hunt. Little do they know, one of the activated cameras has been triggered. But just what has it captured? For the past 5 days, the Encounters team has attempted to collect evidence to either support or refute the existence of a strange beast reported around the Skookum Meadows area of Washington state. A creature described as 6 to 8 feet tall, hair covered, and walking on two legs.
Yeah, so we got the buttocks, the leg coming.
The Skookum body cast obtained in September of 2000 has been examined by numerous anatomy experts, including Dr. Jeff Meldrum from Idaho State University.
Here I am examining the Skookum cast itself, and in this graphic we've superimposed the inferred body regions or anatomical regions of the imprint. Of particular interest was this area down here, which seemed to represent a partial heel driven into the mud. Here is a cast replica of that heel impression. Of particular note is this area here, which appears to be a well-developed Achilles tendon that terminates here in a broad heel that's been driven into the mud. This is a characteristic of bipedal hominoids. So this suggests that whatever made this imprint was a bipedal hominoid, yet one of extreme proportions.
Autumn Williams and the Encounters team have set up hidden motion-activated cameras and recorded hundreds of hours of tape. All but one of the images captured were of an identifiable animal. This photo, taken by a Game View still infrared camera trap, is simply unexplainable, but too vague for scientific scrutiny. Is it human or something else?
We're getting closer, and maybe the final proof lies just around the next corner. We're off once again in the bounder, looking for our next mysterious encounter.